Today we will hear from life and leadership coach Tina Van Wald as she discusses how assessments, for example the Enneagram in particular, impact coaching and allows you to take it one step further in your personal growth and understanding. You are listening to the Legacy Leaders Podcast with Cassie Munger and Rachel Bork, powered by Ascent Advisors. Our discussions will focus on all things related to ag business planning, transition and succession planning, estate planning, and everything in between. Planning for change is inevitable, and keeping focus on the priorities and objectives of everyone within the family and business should always be top of mind. Tune in as we hear from special guests, peers, and industry experts to discuss topics we can all relate to. Welcome back, listeners. We're back here with Tina Van Wald with Discover You Coaching. So today we're going to talk about a tool. I think as consultants, as coaches, we are all better for our clients when we use resources and tools to be more effective in what we do. And so Tina's going to talk a little bit about a tool that she has discovered in coaching. It maybe is similar to, we talk a little bit as consultants, we use DISC as like a behavior assessment. So she's going to talk a little bit of a tool, an Enneagram tool that they use or that Tina uses in coaching. So tell us a little bit about what an Enneagram is. It's a tough word to say, Enneagram.
It is, but it has been revolutionary for me. That's part of the reason that I love this assessment so much. And I'll share a little bit about that in a few minutes after I kind of talk a little bit about the Enneagram. But really, Enne equals 9 and gram is a diagram. So that's how the word works.
I didn't even know
9, there's 9 basic personality types in the Enneagram. And it clearly describes why each one of us thinks, feels, and behaves in particular ways that we do, similar to most assessments. But this powerful tool can help us identify and change behaviors into personal growth. The Centers for Intelligence are a foundational part of the Enneagram. So I'm just going to talk briefly. This is yeah, there's so much. We could spend days talking about the Enneagram. So I'm just going to give you a little peek into the 9 types. But the 9 types, each one of them falls into one of 3 intelligence centers. One is the heart type, one is the head type, and one is the body type. So the heart types...
Head,
body.
Okay.
So the heart is pretty much what it sounds like. It depends on when you're looking at your emotional intelligence, you use it to understand your own reactions and connections with others. Heart types react with emotions first. So they connect with other people on an empathetic level, and they make sense of their world by understanding their feelings about the world. Now that sounds really touchy-feely, but whatever. This is one of them. These types are guided by their feelings connected to the emotional relationships of other people. They value things such as emotional support, recognition, and inclusion. Okay, so that's the heart type. The second one is the head types. So I'm sure you can probably guess. They're the intellectual ones. They're the ones that they make sense of their world and navigate the world around them through their intellectual intelligence. Head types react with analysis first. Okay, so the people factor, none of that applies. It's, analysis. How can I analyze
Strictly
this?
like data driven.
Yes, logical. They connect with other people on an intellectual level and make sense of the world by understanding the systems and theories that underlie the things that they observe. Okay, totally not me. So it doesn't even really make sense to me. But these types are primarily focused on control, which they gain by maintaining stability, security, and competence. Okay, so that's the head. And the final one is the body type. And there's 3 of the different categories that fall into this. Depending on their instinctual intelligence, they follow their gut and respond to threats and opportunities. So the body, it's all internal. It's how do I, what's my sense? What's my instinct on this? Bodies types react with an instinctive or gut feeling. Sometimes you say, well, I just feel in my gut like I should do this. They connect with other people based on their physical sense of comfort and make sense of the world by sensing their body's reaction to what's happening. The primary drive for this triad is to maintain their independence and limit control from outside influences. They respond by being either overly controlling, overly passive, or overly perfectionistic. So I'm looking at Cassie because we are actually both the same Enneagram, and so that's why I was kind of looking at her. But I just want to share a little bit of how the Enneagram has helped me on my journey. I wish I would have had it when my children were little, tiny people, because I think I would have been a better mom because I would understand why I'm responding. But here's just one example. The number one, not yay, I'm number one, but just number one on the Enneagram is a perfectionist. That's kind of their biggest thing. And as I was learning about it, I'm like, well, I don't really feel like I'm a perfectionist at work. I don't feel like everything has to be just right. I'll say, yeah, that's fine sometimes, or yeah, it's good enough. Perfectionists would never say it's good enough. So I was kind of struggling with, is this really what I am? But one day, and now I'm going to just be really honest here, I'm going to kind of throw my husband under the bus, but he'll forgive me.
He throws you under the bus all the time. So
that is true. That is true. So we have a bench as you walk into from our garage on our dining room table. We got the bench, and it was piled high with crap. I don't even know what it was. Stuff he had.
Giving me anxiety already.
He came over and just dumped it on the bench, and I walked in the door and I completely lost it. I remember just being, and blah, 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 blah. And in that moment, I remember thinking, I know where I'm a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist in my home. And there's been so many things over the years that I've stressed about in my home and not been able to understand the why. Mm-hmm. So that was a pivotal moment. I can still feel it. And we're in the body part too. So I can still feel it in my gut. I totally remember. And the other piece with this particular the Enneagram that has helped me is we have a high inner critic. And I have had to learn to control the voice of the inner critic, because my inner critic has always been very, very negative. And so learning how to say what is truth and what isn't truth has been a really helpful piece in the Enneagram for me. We also took this to our staff. We spent, I don't know, probably a year and a half. We worked through the book, A Road Back to You, which is the book that
I read it.
Cassie read.
It's awesome.
And Gavin read it too?
Yes, he did. Yep, we both kind of discovered what our style or preference is.
Right. So we worked through that as a staff. We each worked through our individual things. And then we did another book called The Pathway Between Us, where the staff, we worked through that, which has helped us learn how to work together as a staff. We kind of went deeper into what does it mean for me, a 1, to work with a 5 or a 7 or whatever the different numbers may be. And it really helped us be more understanding, more engaging with each other, because we understand why they're responding the way that they're responding and how I can better help them or respond back to them in a positive way. So that's just a little snippet of the Enneagram. I love it. Like I said, it's been revolutionary for me.
Yeah, and we talk about tools and just how effective they are. And for me, also, I knew pretty quickly as I was reading about perfectionists that that's exactly where I fell. But Tina talked about that inner critic. And that was something I really struggled with, and trying to decipher what's real and what's not. Where am I just putting too much pressure and too much emphasis in places that just create angst and anxiety and worry, when there's no one that feels that except for me. So it's that inner critic. So it's great to be aware, of why you are the way you are, and understand how to cope better with it. Maybe cope isn't the right word, but just
maybe how to deal and process the feelings that are really only affecting you.
Yes.
And no one else really cares.
Exactly.
And so why are you stressing? Why are you getting anxiety? All of those things when it's just you. Let it go.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was really helpful. So thanks, Tina, for kind of walking us through that. If you ever engage with Tina, it may be something that you're able to read and find some value in as well. All right. Well, we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.